to our Yards Connection podcast, hosted by Kiki and Kevin. We're back again to chat with you, connect with you, and engage. Hey, Mr. Nembz.
Hey, what's up?
You okay?
What's up, listeners? Yeah, I'm good.
I see you.
Yeah, I'm still here. Are you there?
Are you hanging in there?
Yes.
Why are you hanging?
You know what? It's another episode. So
it's another episode.
We're about to get interested again. Just want to say thank you so much for all the support that we've been getting, for all the supporters. Continue to follow us on social media.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And continue to subscribe.
Yes,
hit that like button.
Yes,
I mean, all those people who've been subscribing and downloading and stuff,
and
sharing. I mean, we appreciate it.
We appreciate it so much.
The love is real. Trust me. I mean, when you look at the reviews, sometimes we're like, oh my god, you know what?
You know, it's nice to know that
it feels good. It feels good to know that persons are actually listening, and also sometimes when you check the inbox, some of the messages that they leave.
Guys,
you're like, oh my god, it's really touching. So
Thank
I mean,
you.
From us to you, we just want you to know that we appreciate it.
And it's funny that most of these, always like with every episode, or most of the episodes, there's always Team Kiki or Team Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, look out for those shirts, okay?
What? Don't listen to him. Thank you guys for showing us some love, and continue to subscribe as Kevin mentioned, and spread the word. We're still on social media. Let's engage on social media. Our Facebook page is called Yard Connection Podcast. And on Instagram, we are also Yard Connection Podcast. So let's engage. Let's chat. And you're free also to send us any topic suggestions. That any topic that you'd like like us to talk about or like us to address. We're here. So let's all grow together.
Yeah. Right,
welcome to another episode.
Right now.
Right here, right now. Yes. Today we ask a question. Who do you go to for relationship advice?
Oh, Lord.
Listen. We know a lot of people go through the most. Well, most of us go through the most in relationships. And sometimes you wonder, who can you go to for advice? And you end up in the wrong place. And by a wrong place, I mean, you end up going to the wrong person for advice. And most of the times we find ourselves and that's how you find out that this person is not really for you. This person is not really for your relationship.
Right.
Because if you're going to have misunderstandings with your other half, and you run either to a friend or to a family member, how they respond to that situation will tell you whether this person is for you or this person is not for you when it comes to relationship advice. And who do you go to?
Well, I mean, for me, definitely, if I'm having troubles within my relationship, I prefer to talk it out than with my partner. I hate when things leave from outside the relationship itself into other people's ears. It's not good, because you know what? If you're seeking advice from someone, especially most cases from a friend, they're gonna give you advice based on what they think. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna be judging you based on their life. Remember, no, you're the one in the situation.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't mean that sometimes you don't want a second opinion or whatever it is. I mean, if I'm gonna go to someone, say, for a second opinion, based on the fact that I'm going through troubled times and with my relationship and stuff, I have an idea as to how I would want to squash it or query it or whatever it is. So going to someone else for an advice now, you find you're listening out for those key pointers. Sometimes these advice end up like turning the relationship upside down, as in breaking the relationship apart. Definitely, because these friends or family or whatever it is will tell you, leave the boy, leave the girl, or
But sometimes it's okay to leave the boy or leave the girl, depending on what the situation
exactly.
is. I have a problem with family members, especially family members, because I don't think friends do that. We don't do that shit.
What?
Family members have a tendency of encouraging a woman to stay in a marriage or a relationship where they know that person is unhappy. This man is abusing you. This man cheats on you 24/7, and then you hear the family on some, no man, every man cheats. You're going to leave this one, you're going to go to this one, he's still going to cheat on you. Oh, what did you do to make him angry for him to put his hands on you? Those are the things that a lot of family members do, especially big people, especially adults, because they live in the Stone Age. They still believe in I don't know how I can put it, being patient in a marriage or whatever it is.
Well, if they're gonna be giving you advice like that, bear in mind, like in most cases, family members are benefiting from either party, like from one party that's involved in the relationship. For example, if they're benefiting from, say, the guy in whatever way, whether it be financial help at times, go pick up the kids, whatever chores they, whatever is considered as help. Now, sometimes they use that as a tendency to be like, try and work it out with them. And what, like I said, it all boils down to what brought you to
asking for advice,
seeking advice.
Seeking advice.
Know what I'm saying? Because if you are having, troubles in your relationship, like most relationships do, we're human beings. Know what I'm saying? I think one of the best way, and this is based on my experience itself, is to try and see if you can query the arguments within the relationship, like with your partner. That's where communication comes in.
Yeah.
Because if you guys have communication unlocked, then obviously, then you guys are going to know exactly what to do, what made her upset, or what made us having a situation. Or is it a case where I went and cheat, or is it a case where I spent some money that I wasn't supposed to spend? Whatever it is, you find yourself if you had the communication, you can actually solve the problem without have to go to someone else. Because bear in mind, these persons are gonna give you advice based on their experience or their opinions or stuff like that. They're not the one in your shoe.
Exactly.
You know exactly what you're going through. Simple mean you know exactly how to fix it. Like I said, if it's gonna be if it's gonna be advice on the part of whether you should be with someone, yes or no, that decision should be made by you.
By you.
Which boils down to you communicating.
I completely agree with that part. The decision has to be made by you, no matter what advice we get.
Yes,
right?
of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it boils right down to you making the advice. But the thing is, some people like when some people like when fire is added to fire. That type of feeling where go to a friend and you go to the friend stormy, head hot, stuff like that, going through the most. It's like you want anything that will make you feel good for the moment. Now, sometimes the thing that's going to make you feel good for the moment, it's actually something bad. Because the person will say, for example, advise you to say, leave the person alone, or cheat on him. He cheated on you. Go and cheat on him. These are the advices that you get, and you find that these advices are actually bad advices. But how does that help? Because it only make you feel better for like probably a day or two.
And then after that, the problem is still there.
The problem is still there. You know what I'm saying? You either break up with a person or whatever it is. I mean, it's good to get a second opinion. But I think these should be done on a mature base as well, whereas you can go to someone that you obviously can trust, right? And someone that has a mature mind, whereas they can look on the thing from a broad perspective. Because like I always said, every story has two sides. You know what I'm saying? Not because I come to you and tell her that, listen, Kiki said this and Kiki said that. You know what I'm saying? You as a person in the middle should be able to say, okay, so if Kiki said that, then what was your response? What did you say? You as a person that's giving the advice should be able to, communicate, both situations both there sides, and see how best you can, come up with an advice. So, I mean, that's in terms of advice, I mean, you can go to other persons for advice, but I think it should be done from a mature side. If you're gonna go for advice, that is, which I don't think it should reach that point, because you should communicate in the relationship itself. So you should be able to give each other's advice too. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's not I don't think no one should be going for advice in terms of what you should do, what decision you should make.
Okay, so we go to people for advice for what?
No, most people go for advice to probably help
make a
decision.
Okay.
No,
okay.
So I mean, but sometimes, like I said, some of the decisions that you end up making are not good. You know what I'm saying? Because you're fiery and the person that you're going to is only thinking one way, which is bad, you know? So, but I mean, you can't like if, as much as there always that family member then that always sparks, you know, debates or whatever it is, especially if the family member doesn't like that person or do like that person, whichever way it works. You find that it works in their favor. If they like the person, they're gonna be defending the person. If they don't like the person, they're not gonna be. It's a
problem.
You know.
But so, you also as us also as individuals, we need to know. Like we're saying, who do you go to for advice? You need to know that. I'm sure we all know who likes our partners and who doesn't.
Yes.
So you can't put yourself in a situation where you know very well that your father does not like your wife, or your mother does not like your wife, or your mother does not like your husband, or doesn't like your boyfriend. There is no way you can go and ask for advice about the relationship from
that person,
because you know very well what you're going to get is going to be negative.
As a matter of fact, you sometimes going to these people know exactly the answer that you're going to get. You know,
that's crazy.
You already know
true.
it. You know, but like for me, I have a right-hand friend. You know, a ride or die. Yeah,
ride or die.
Yeah, I mean. Every situation every situation that arises, if a situation arises, because we're all human beings, we all go through these little things, these little glitches in relationship. It's called life. So I mean, whenever you have these little glitches, I think it's best you try and solve these glitches in terms of with your partner. Communication should be done with your partner. So if I need advice, I mean, we're gonna be advising each other if that's the case. If you're going to be seeking outside advice, you must approach these situations with caution too, in terms of how you approach a person. Sometimes you can't be too open to this person in terms of letting this person know. Like I said, it has to be someone that you trust. It boils right down to that. So we all need that little second opinion at times, because they said two heads works better than one. You know, in the sense of you making a decision. But at the end of the day, even when you get that advice from someone else, the decision is still left up to you.
The decision is still.
So you still make the decision, no matter what.
Okay, so it's not based on that other person's advice or.
Like I said, you know exactly what's going to be the answer, or the influence, or the advice. You know exactly the answer that you want. Especially when you're going to someone for advice, then you're not going to the person. For example, you don't want to break up with me, right? And you're going to your friend for advice. You're not going to your friend to hear the person say to you, listen, break up with him. No, you're going to the person to hear, you know, the person says, yes. Because you already have the answer in your head. You know, because we tend to like things go our way all the time, when sometimes it's toxic. Sometimes all you need to do is to break off or whatever it is. But like I said, if you reach that far that you have to get advice, whereas you have to seek advice from someone else, let it be someone that's mature, that's in a mature mind, someone that can offer mature, you know, something with sense. Because it can't be just this random person that's gonna be like, yeah, you know, based on their life.
That sounds like a woman. Why does it have to be a voice like that?
No, because you know what?
Why are women always being thrown under the bus?
You know what? Most times, especially women, you know, women are the fire one in terms of the fire that would come from, like I said, most cases when women go for advice, especially from their friend, and they're not matured mindeds. Oh my God! Remember, you know, the person is your friend, so basically you guys have similar things in, you know, where you guys are, you know, grounded and okay with each other. So obviously, a friend is not gonna say things to you to hurt you. You know that.
Then that's a bad friend.
No, but
that's a bad friend.
But that's
We're supposed to tell each other the truth.
No, but that's most of the case, isn't it?
It's mostly the case, but still, we're supposed to tell each other the truth. I have friends,
All right, some
friends who tell me the truth.
Does everyone like to hear the truth?
No, that doesn't. We don't like to hear the truth, but at the end of the day, we still have to hear the truth. I'm not going to sugarcoat something, especially where I know that I have to say it in a way like, well, maybe it's how one should say it. You know, if someone is a friend of mine is in a relationship and I know for a fact that this person is unhappy. I've said this before. Remember, I said that if you are in a relationship with someone and this person is not treating you right, do not tell me if you're not ready to leave that person. Don't tell me anything
that's what I'm saying.
Until you're ready to leave that person, because I'm not the type of friend that's going to sugarcoat. I'm not the type of friend that's going to give you advice that you are expecting in terms of saying, no, stay with him. Girl, I know you love him. We hang in there. We know.
People go through that a lot. And that's what I'm saying. You know, they're giving you answers based on, you know, trying to be as nice as possible then. Try not to hurt your feelings. Try not to, you know, all these little things. So, like I said, if it was from a mature perspective, as in someone, even if it's not a grown person, but, you know, you do have young people with mature minds.
Yes, mature
minds.
That
person is going to tell you straight up that, listen, based on the two sides that you just tell me just now, I think this is the best thing you should do. You know, which would be a mature decision. And then you, even when you get that mature decision, bear in mind you're still left with the decision making.
Yeah.
So sometimes people get these mature decisions and they'll be like, oh, okay. And they go ahead and do the opposite because that's not the answer that they want to hear.
Yeah.
That's not the decision. That's not the advice that they needed or stuff like that.
So they basically just ignore that advice.
Exactly.
And then that's when I get upset. And yes, if you're going to come to me for advice, you know, as a friend or as a family member or as a sister or as a cousin, if you're going to come to me for advice about a situation you're in, you better, I expect you to at least do the right thing. If I'm giving you wrong advice, then so be it. It's wrong, then you're not going to take it. But if it's the right advice and you know that it's the right advice, but then you choose to do the opposite, do not come back to me for advice ever again.
Well,
because I'll be like, we told you the last time.
What to do,
but you keep doing it. You keep doing the same thing that you come and ask us for advice. You know, it's crazy.
You know, that's why, I mean, they say sometimes you got to choose your circle too. Like with my circle that I have, whenever my friends come to me, right? My friends will come to me for certain advice. And sometimes my friends come to me heated. And as much as they're heated, I'm not going to give them advice just to cool them down. Sometimes the advice that I give them sometimes heats them up. But sometimes they heat up. Because you know what? When your brain is bubbling, you don't think straight. So soon after, while I'm giving them the advice, they'll be like, no, but that can't be the case, or, you know, stuff like that, because they're heated. But as soon as their brain is calmed down, these friends will come to me and be like, you know, you were actually right. I did exactly what you said. I've had friends like those. I did exactly what you said, because although they're boiling up and they're just, you know, heating and whatever it is, they're still listening to you, you know. You know, just take time to process. They will go and lay down and they will remember that Kevin said this to them, or Kiki said that to them, and they'll be like, "That's if your friends are real as well."
Real. Yes,
you know, because my friends know definitely that whatever I'm gonna tell them. Like, for example, if I'm gonna give them something, I can't give my friends something that I don't want, in the sense of not liking it or whatever it is. So basically, I'm only giving them only because I not like it. You know, so whatever advice I'm going to give to a friend or a family member, it's going to be coming genuinely from my heart. In terms of whether you like it or not, that's my decision. It's based on the information that's passed on to me. Yes. You came to me, you know, with this, you know,
whatever
the situation is. I'm gonna listen to you, because, you know, in order for me to give you advice, obviously I have to be a good listener. I can't. Some people just hear the first word that you say. Where's him lick you? they don't know exactly what caused them to hit you. Or
no, I don't. I don't
no. But I'm just saying.
Yes, yes.
Let me use a different example. Then.
Please don't use the heat because there is not even one.
No, but sometimes
that
like,
we can allow when somebody when the minute you come to me and say he hit me, don't start with that, because if you start with that, the conversation is over. We are going there to fight.
See, exactly what I'm talking about, which was exactly down to what I'm saying.
What?
You see, this is the thing though, and that's called a heated head. Imagine me having a friend like that though.
Listen, if he hit you,
but why?
I don't even want to hear the other side of the story for you. I'm not even going to ask you what did you do. That's what big people do. That's what old people do.
You're talking from a woman's perspective or from a man's perspective. What if a woman hit up a guy?
If she says she hit him, I'm going to ask her. She's my friend, right? She comes to me and she says she hit her husband or her boyfriend. I'm going to ask her, why did you hit him? And then obviously I'll tell her the truth that you're not supposed to do that, because I'm against any sort of violence in terms of.
All right. So you see the difference right there, right now?
The fact that I asked her, why did you do it?
If it was on the girl side, no, whereas in, for example,
she comes and she says,
she's come and say to you that a guy hit her, no.
I'm not going to ask her, why did he hit you? I'm not
exactly. So you see what? No, I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's right to hit.
But if a guy comes to me, right, and says, I hit my wife. I have male friends, right? Mm-hmm. If one of my friends comes to me and said, you know what, Kiki, I hit my wife, or I even verbal abuse is also not allowed. Or I said something to my wife, and I'll be like, what were you thinking? I'm not going to ask him, what did she do? I'm not.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
But I hope you see the difference here.
I do see. I know the difference, because it's most of the times it's women who are abused, and it's us who actually have to every time we actually have to suck it in. We actually have to pretend we are okay. It's us who walk around with blue eyes. It's us who have to use makeup to cover up.
Well, let me clear myself there. I'm not saying that men should be hitting women.
No, I know you're not saying that, baby. I know you're not saying that.
I don't do that.
No. We're just having a conversation here as to.
But I mean, like, on a serious perspective, though. I mean, like I said, advice are gonna be, for me. I think they should be done within the relationship itself, in terms of. Unless, I mean, sometimes you need that second opinion, but I think you should communicate, and that's where it comes on to having the communication with your partner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you guys have a communication that works. It works in both favor. It doesn't mean, look at us. We have our communication on lock. But at the same time, there are times when we disagree with stuff.
Exactly.
And we make one upset and one vex or whatever it is. But guess what? At the end of the day, we still come to each other and we say, listen, all right, this is the situation. How you want us to solve this now? And you would say, you know, the reason why I feel this bad is because you say this. And I would say, okay, baby. I understand, this is the case, whatever it is. It's done within the relationship. Yeah. Some things are better left within the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because when it goes outside, that's when it becomes toxic. Stuff. You find that stuff added to the argument, or it starts spreading even more.
Yeah.
Than it's supposed to go. So, like I'm saying, a second opinion is fine.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be.
It should be from a mature mind.
It should be from a mature mind, and at the same time, it shouldn't be from a person is not for your relationship. Don't ever go to someone who is not for your relationship for advice.
Because
you don't about your relationship.
You must know who you can. I mean, everyone is gonna have
even
that.
If you speak to a stranger, sometimes strangers are the best people to talk to. For advice.
You know what? Everyone is gonna have a different perspective, and everyone I know. They know exactly who they would go to. Some would find going to a friend. Some would find going to a family member. Some would wait until they go to the store. A lot of times, when I'm at work, I get a lot of these customers that's just looking for someone just to pour their heart out. And what they want in return is that advice.
Someone to listen.
Someone just to listen.
To advise, someone who's neutral.
Listen and view it, and someone that's neutral. That's a main important thing. You don't need someone who's going to be picking sides. Yeah. Because that's obviously where the problem comes in terms of all of that. So I mean, communication should be unlocked.
Yes, communication should be unlocked.
So you wouldn't have those problems. But I mean, like I said, I mean, like the topic itself stated, who do you go to for relationship advice? You know
should
that special person, or should you go to someone
for relationship
or I mean,
advice?
or is it something that can be dealt with within from a partner's, from partner to partner?
Yes.
So yeah, but I mean, like us.
Yeah,
I'll keep going to you.
You keep coming to me for advice, and I keep coming to you for advice too.
Right.
Even though we're having the misunderstanding, I'll be like, baby, so what must I do? Yeah, so we get into an argument. I'm like, so what do you want me to do? Okay, that's me asking for advice. Actually. If you look at it, like we get into an argument or misunderstanding, and we're carrying on and on and on, and I'm like, okay, what must I do? You actually do that, say that a lot of times.
Yes, of course.
Okay, baby, what do you want me to do? What should we do in this situation?
Because you know what. I'm looking to solve the problem. You know,
I'm not looking to continue
I'm not
fighting.
looking, because if I'm gonna continue fighting, then simply mean I'm looking out of the relationship. So I mean, yeah. So,
okay, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening to us today. We had another topic.
Yes.
Yeah. Hope you'll be able to join us again in the next week.
I didn't speak nothing rude in that one. So
no, you tried, but you see, you shouldn't have said anything even now. It means it's still in your head. The fact that you're bringing it up.
That simply means that I only adjust.
Listen, I'm done. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for sharing the love. Thanks for continuing to be there.
Follow us on social media.
As we continue to spread the love, continue to follow us on social media.
Etihad Connection Podcast, hosted by Kiki Nembz and Kevin Nembz. We out.
Ride or die, right?
Ride or die, baby. Ride or die.
Thank you guys so much.